The initiating thing that really gets things going is that Johnny, who's, been speaking out, singing out literally against the war, is sucked into it. And co-opted, is that the right word for it?
It is.
Yeah, tell me what, because he ends up involved with the Candyman, so tell me about that experience.
Candyman is modeled after an infamous war criminal there who is dead now. It's a pretty realistic situation. I had a chance at a certain point to talk to some people in Belgrade who did take part in the Bosnian War. Some of them were with paramilitaries. And the whole war chapter that I've described in the book is based pretty much on those interviews that I did. So I try to keep it as realistic as possible. Again, it's the way that Johnny enters the war zone, and what he discovers afterwards while he is in the war zone. It's another part of the story about a big system of deception and lies. And when I said earlier that we somehow started buying that crap, I mean we as a world. To me, that's the only, even today, that's the only answer how it was possible to keep Sarajevo in such a lengthy siege, with the whole world looking and thinking there, it will either end tomorrow on some magical level, or we have to think of the reason why we can go in there and stop the siege. It's really, when you remove yourself from that and start thinking, with a clear head, isn't that madness? I mean, for 3 years, you, the world community, stand aside and look as one modern city is sieged from all sides, and people cannot go in or out, and people are killing other people with snipers on the hills. I mean, that's madness. That was the very end of the 20th century. And such madness is also, what I wanted to show in that war situation where Johnny enters the war zone is that slow descent into deeper and deeper treachery and lies, because at the beginning he is just sent to the army as a propaganda mean, like you go there.
They compared him to Elvis.
Exactly. You go to a little bit just as a reserve. You won't even go to war, and we just want to show you in uniform and teach the kids, because it really was in Belgrade at that time. Nobody wanted to go and do anything, even including the reserve. The people were just hiding. I was hiding. I was changing addresses like every 6 months. I couldn't renew my passport, my driver's license at the time, because that would mean to go to police and report my new address. But that would also mean I would be taken into reserve and possibly end up like Johnny on the front. And so it's again a realistic situation where the authorities wanted to take some artists and put them in uniform and show them to the kids, and and then from that he is suddenly taken to the front, and then from that he is suddenly in combat, and it just goes deeper. And to me it was very important to warn people how small things often lead to bigger things, and we need to be awake at all times and never lull ourselves into the situation where we would compromise and make a compromise and say like, okay, this doesn't really matter, it's a small, I can do this, because I can do this can very fast lead you to the situation where you will not feel comfortable anymore. War is pretty much like a traumatic memory, Traumatic memories from our childhood or from they tend to keep digging through you, and they find a way out you know, and then like they will suddenly appear as a tick in your eye, as a pimple on your chin, you know, you suddenly start walking bent to one side, all because you were traumatized at one point and you didn't deal with that, you know. And war is like that. It keeps pushing like water, eroding you, trying to find its channels, its ways through you, you know, and no matter how well you try to protect yourself, in the end it will get you.
The book is Diary of Interrupted Days. It's the first novel from Dragan Todorovic and Dragan Todorovic's Diary of Interrupted Days, published by Random House of Canada.